Welcome back to the Decent Garage. Today we're working on Long Bed Larry. Long Bed Larry is a truck we picked up a year ago from Boise, Idaho. It's a long bed crew cab first gen Cummins with a 12 valve P-pump, 5-speed, 4-wheel drive chassis, and we're building it on the channel. We have a lot to get done today, but by the end of the video you'll see we've made a ton of progress on Long Bed Larry. Let's first start with the transfer case. Transfer case is all cleaned up. That took a long time. That took about 4 hours of cleaning and scrubbing and scraping and everything. So I got the edges of the mating surface masked off, and according to Instagram, if we get a rubber mallet, oh yeah. So I gotta say, that was smooth. Yeah, you just put the tape on, hit it with a hammer a couple times, get it to kind of break over the edge, and then tear it off. The transfer case came out really nice. Paint's all dry. So we're gonna put some silicone on here, a gasket, some more silicone. Let's go mount it up to the transmission. There we go. There we go. That's what we needed. There's the transfer case all mated up. What do you know? So I still got to put the seals and the bearing retainers, and apparently I need to find the yokes for both of these. I don't have them, so I'm going to have to source those. Now that we've got the transfer case all mounted up, there's a few things on the cab that I want to mount up that are going to be much easier to do right now. Having the engine in the way really limits access to a lot of these components, so it's going to be much easier to mount these up before we put the cab on the frame. Let's head to the whiteboard and I'll show you a comprehensive list of everything we need to get installed on the Firewall so we can get the cab put on the frame. We've got our clutch master bracket, our e-brake cable and pedal, our blower motor resistor, our wiper motor and the linkage, our brake booster and master cylinder, our pedal assembly, our heater box after we rebuild it completely, and then the cab can go on. Before we mount all this stuff on the Firewall, we're going to get some sound deadener put on the whole Firewall to keep this cab quiet. Now, I've used many brands of sound deadener, the cheap stuff, the more expensive stuff, and honestly, in my opinion, they all do just about the same thing. For this project, I got some 80 mil thick kill mat. We're going to try this. Like I said, they're all about the same in the end, but I will leave a link to this in the description of the video if you're interested in trying it out. So we got some sound deadener here on the Firewall. Let me give you a quick demonstration of where we have sound deadener and where we don't. So you can hear the difference there. It really muffles those vibrations on the sheet metal. Got our original windshield wiper motor all cleaned up and ready to go in, but there is a piece of foam that goes on the back here between the motor and the firewall. Now when I mentioned rebuilding the heater box, many of you mentioned that there's a rebuild kit for it, so I went out and found it. Detroit Muscle Technology sells a full foam rebuild kit for the heater box, and if you buy the more expensive one, it actually even comes with the foam for the wiper motor. So we're going to mount this up with its new foam to the firewall. Then we're going to clean, paint, and install the wiper linkage onto the wiper motor. Many of you are probably wondering at this point why I'm reusing a lot of the old parts from the old truck. The answer to that is simple. Most of these parts are known to be good, and I'm trying to build this thing on a budget. I want this to be a build that you guys can relate to. You don't have to spend all your money to buy brand new parts on everything if you can't afford it in that moment. So I'm going to clean and reuse everything that I can. A little bit of elbow grease and some paint goes a long ways on a build like this. Now it's time to rebuild our heater box. So like I mentioned, I bought a kit from Detroit Muscle Technologies that has all the foam to replace on here, except it doesn't come with the foam on the little blend doors. So I got a solution for that. I just bought some 1/4-inch foam. We're going to put it on both sides, and where there's any bump outs, we'll just build up a spot and do that. We're also going to install a new heater core. We're going to install a new blower motor. We're going to put a clean out plate right here on the front of the box so we can clean it out later down the road. Also, Cody Huntley on Facebook made a cool post. He actually lined a lot of the walls of the heater box with sound deadener to block some of the noise that comes from the engine compartment that could make it through the heater box, because that is a place where a lot of sound can get through into the cab. So let's get all the old foam taken off, get it all cleaned up, and we're going to start replacing stuff little by little. We've got the heater box completely gutted. We've got the foam taken off of all of the pieces. So let's get to putting the new foam on and putting all the new parts in so this heater box looks brand new. For those of you who are questioning why I just cut a hole in my nice heater box, this is where we're going to mount our marine deck plate. So this just screws open. We'll mount it in there. I still have yet to get the screws, but we'll get those. And then you can open and close this and access this portion, because this is a spot where tons of leaves and debris build up and block airflow. I do have a full how-to video on how to do this with the box in your truck, so you don't have to have the box out of your truck to do this. We've got our heater core in, our AC condenser, all of our blend doors are in. We've got kill mat on a bunch of the walls, wherever there were flat walls that I could get to it. So we're ready to put the top back on. Now it's worth mentioning with this foam kit, none of the foam came with adhesive on the back. So I use this 3M adhesive, which I've used in the past, and it works really, really good. Alright, we have one more big gasket here we got to put down. I've already sprayed it with our 3M adhesive. I've used this on all the foam so far and it has worked really well. Alright, we've got all the foam back on the heater box. It is completely rebuilt. Now we need to mount it up to the cab. The problem is I can't find the nuts for the studs to mount it to the cab. So this brings me to a product that I've had for a little while, but I haven't showed you guys yet, but I'm a fan. Many times as I've been installing stuff on the cab, I've needed to figure out what size bolt or nut I needed for a certain component. Well, I got sick of taking my brake booster to the hardware store just to find out what nut goes on the stud. So I ordered something on Amazon, and this thing is awesome. Looks like a big old necklace, but essentially the black and the silver, the black is all metric and the silver is all standard. And it has the male and female of every thread pitch and every bolt size. So, for example, I've already found this one, but I had to just come through with some of these, test them out on here. Right there. And then you can see it's a 1/4 by 20. So I went and found the nuts for that, and we're ready to go. I'll put a link to this in the description if you're interested. The cab is ready to go on the frame. But you can see we have made a mess in the garage. So I'm going to clean up in here, and I'm also going to install something that we're going to use a lot from here on out. And we're going to use it to get the cab onto the frame. I got this electric hoist from Viver. This is an 800 kilogram hoist, which comes out to about 2,000 pounds. So I got this, we're going to mount this up. I ordered some much beefier rollers from Amazon. I've got the track here, so we have two 5-foot pieces. We've got all the brackets to hang the track. We've got our hardware to mount the brackets, and we have bump stops for the end of the tracks, so this thing doesn't come flying off. Alright guys, look at this. Slides all the way down, hits the bumper. Right there. So this is going to be awesome. We're going to be able to lift the cab, lift transmissions, things that we need to move around in here. I can move them over to the workbench. I can move them in and out of the frame. This is just going to be so perfect for what we're doing in here. Installing that hoist went way faster than I thought it would. So let's go get the snow off of Long Bed Larry and roll him in here. Alright guys, I got the whole drivetrain inside. The cab is ready to go. I built this contraption to help us lift it. Let's hook it up and put the cab on. There. Here, use to the back window.
Full send.
Let's get it up as high as we can.
Here, I'm going to pull down on this side, and lift up over there.
You're turning my way. We're turning towards the truck, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you guide.
Okay. Now we're going to keep coming this way and start turning. Okay, push this way now. This way. Okay, this strap is resting on the. We need to go this way. The shift is right here. What?
Okay, hold on, let's. I mean, we could really just align it based off of that.
Oh, hey guys, look at this. We did it. I know a lot of you were skeptical that we would get to this point, but the cab is painted and mounted to the frame. In the next video, we're gonna get the first start of our 12-valve Cummins engine and we're gonna fire it with the key. Then we'll be ready to paint and mount the bed and all the other panels, and all we have to do after that is finish up the interior. So make sure you stay tuned.